Okay, good morning. My name is Leslie Williams, and today's date right now is March 1st, 2014, and I'm making this particular video in order to be able to illustrate to you one of the main methodologies of organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. But first, let me show you a video picture of my phone so you can see the date and time by me showing you this phone, 6:59 a.m. on March 1st, 2014. It's now 7, okay? And I'm going to use a feature within the tools menu called the voice command, which enables the phone to state the date electronically. You'll understand why I'm doing this in a second. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the voice command now.
Say a command.
And,
Say a command.
hold on a second, I want to start my tape recorder. Okay, now, the tape recorder is now started.
Say a command.
And I'm using the voice command so the phone can state the date electronically and the time.
Did you? Say a command. March 1st, Saturday, 7 a.m. Say a command.
Okay, now, the reason why I'm making this particular video is that I want to be able to illustrate one of the methodologies of organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to try and illustrate to the public at large and to inform fellow targeted individuals who might not have made complete sense yet of what is happening to them in reference to this specific methodology of organized stalking expeditions. Organized stalking expeditions are designed to literally break the targeted individual down. Okay, now I want you to pay very close attention to the following statements because the statements are literal, factual realities. And so I'm just going to go right ahead and I'm going to describe the subject matter. One of the main methodologies of organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking, is to create post-traumatic stress disorder in the targeted individual and dissociative states. Now, this is done in order to be able to aid and abet in the, but not limited to, the mental deterioration of the targeted individual, to cause them to have an eventual mental collapse. Now, post-traumatic stress disorder is a disorder that is recognized in the Diagnosis Statistics Manual, the DSM, which is basically the manual that is used by the psychiatric community. Now, post-traumatic stress and dissociative disorders are brought about as a result of trauma. Hold on one second. Now, the trauma can be either physical, psychological, physiological, emotional, spiritual, and even financial. Now, the main purpose of this particular video is to illustrate to you just a couple ways that they can anchor and create post-traumatic stress disorder and dissociated states. I sincerely hope and pray that you watch this entire video because it's being made in order to be able to show you just one of the heinous methodologies of gang stalking that are intentionally, with complete malice of forethought and criminal intent, designed for this actual effect and result: post-traumatic stress disorder and dissociated states. Now, and if you don't believe me, all you got to do, well, I'm not saying that you don't believe me, but to give you an example, go to Google right now and type in psychological operations and gang stalking and or organized stalking. And you'll even see that hundreds and thousands of targeted individuals are all over the internet titling their blogs and their YouTube videos gang stalking and or organized stalking and psychological operations, because the whole goal for these perpetrators is to create not only the mental deterioration of the targeted individual and a mental collapse, but it's also designed to commit menticide. Now, you can Google and Wikipedia that specific terminology in order to understand what it is. It's basically where they literally attempt to kill the mental identity of the target individual and to literally aid and abet in the mental collapse and the mental deterioration of the target's mental faculties. And this is literally the motivation of it. Okay, it's not just an unintended side effect or result. It is the literal criminal intent to do it with complete malice of forethought. So, You can go to Google right now and type in how they create homelessness of targeted individuals by using many different methodologies, tactics, maneuvers, all brought about as a result of covertly created schemes and cooperating relationships that are kept concealed from the targeted individual and the community and uncorrupted police officers as a result of these covertly created and solicited cooperating relationships with, but not limited to, property owners, landlords, and when needed, even post employees who are used for mail theft and mail delayment, including the rent of the targeted individual. The whole goal for the perpetrators is to literally intentionally create the homelessness. The targeted individual is also gang stalked before, during, and after the homelessness is created. They are subject to many different harassment techniques that are brought about against them in their apartment complex, out and about in the community, everywhere they go, including businesses, transportation services, university and college campuses, even at the high school level. That's right. Again, what you got to understand, the purpose of this video is to inform you about how they create dissociated states and post-traumatic stress disorder, and the only way that they can do this is through abuse and victimization, traumatization, re-traumatization, and re-victimization, all brought about through the abuse that is covertly managed, covertly executed, and covertly managed in reference to how it's being covertly staged, okay, and then overtly and at times directly brought about. And some of their methodologies are even covertly brought about, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now, in order to cause all these effects and results, the perpetrator of these crimes or perpetrators who are covertly managing and perpetrating this criminality against the targeted individual will do many different things towards the targeted individual, either before, during, and after. Okay? Well, let me just put it to you this way. Before and or during and or after the homelessness is created. Because the gang stalking is always going on towards the target individual before the homelessness is created, and during it and after, whether it's open harassment yet or not. That's right. Now, what am I trying to explain to you in this video outside of the, including as well, the aforementioned already descriptions? Well, what they do is they will get along a targeted individual's route and sensitize them to specific things for the targeted individual to either see and or hear. That's right. You can go to Google right now and YouTube and type in organized stalking and or gang stalking and sensitization methods. And that is a clever way for the perpetrators to let the targeted individual overtly know, and at times even directly, even though it can't be proven unless one of them admit it, or unless the target individual develops clever strategies themselves, like possibly predicting what they might do next, and then in an email file, a notary, a video blog, an audio tape recorder, and then if they do what is predicted, especially over and over and over again, it'll become transparent that these expeditions are being overtly and directly executed, covertly managed. That's right. Now, the majority of the time, though, and even when something is brought about that was predicted, they will deny that they played a role in it and call the target individual mentally ill for it, in reference to the target individual stating that this particular event or this causation the effect has been brought about because of gang stalking, because the syndicated police officers always make sure that they answer the 911 call or appear at the police department if they see the target individual is going to one. They will make sure a syndicated cop comes to the counter or takes the verbal complaint, attempting to make a report, and or if a 911 call is placed. Now, one of the ways that they create post-traumatic stress is as a result of tracking, surveillance, and observation of the target individual at all times in real time. They know where the target individual is at all times in real time. Hold on a second. Including by, but not limited to, using the target's own cell phone, okay, or laptop as a GPS locator as a result of RF filtering. Okay, basically what they're doing is modulating and vectoring the target's physical location and modulating their frequency down to, and stepping it down, just like in a sense how transformers work, where they step down or step up the voltage. Okay, well, what they do is that they identify that the target individual has got a cell phone or a laptop. And what they'll do is they'll vector the target individual's location, and then what they'll do is send a frequency to it and modulate it down to interface with the frequency of the phone and or laptop, and then use it as a tracker. They can also use the target individual's cell phone as a microphone and hijack into the camera, including when it's off and even when the battery's out, because electronics always hold a unit of charge in order for the read-only memory, which are basically the machine language instructions that operate the digital microchips. Okay, so the capacitors is basically the capacitors hold a specific unit of charge in these electronic devices in order to keep the read-only memory instructions active. Okay, in the memory chips. Now, let me give you a case in point about how this tracking is used in order to put the crafted harassment around the target individual, either for the overt harassment and or the direct harassment, including assaults and even rapes. That's right. Or any interactions that the target individual might have with police officers. Now, let me get to the intended illustration pertaining to this particular video. I'm going to show you something. I've already discussed about how they make targeted individuals homeless. Right now, what you're looking at is a bunch of electrical tape on this tin. Let me put my flashlight on it so you can see it better. Do you see these bread ties here? Okay? These bread ties are tying up where they came down and cut up my tent 2 days ago, after I left this area to go do my laundry. Now, if you can imagine somebody taking a knife, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to point my finger right here, because this is what they did. They took a knife and they cut it straight up, okay? They cut it straight up from here to here, right before the part where the zipper, okay? And that is what you're seeing right here. This electrical tape was put on it by me, and if I was to take off this electrical tape right now, what you would basically see is a bunch of bread ties holding the white parts of the tent together where they cut it, okay? And I'll briefly show you what the outside of it looks like, okay? This is the other side of it that wasn't taped. Okay, do you see that? I don't know how well you can see it because it's still relatively early right now. Okay, it's basically like a stitch when you got a cut. Okay, now I'm going to explain why I'm showing this to you in about 2 seconds here. Now, once they create the homelessness of the targeted individual by using these different techniques and employment descriptions and cooperating relationships with landlords, property owners, postal employees, what they'll do is, after the homelessness is created, what they'll do is continue to gang stalk the targeted individual along all their routes and even at their hiking areas. This is the 4th hiking area I've been gang stalked to. Now, and then what they'll do is, through the tracking, observation, and stalking of the target, like right now, if I put this cell phone in my pocket and then got up outside the tent and then went to the street and started walking down the street, they would be able to see that I am mobile by at least using Cartesian coordinate systems, which is basically all 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. Okay? This way, and this way. Okay? They're able to vector my location pertaining to hacking into this phone, and as just like GPS is basically what it is. You can go to YouTube and Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and cell phone hacking, organized stalking or gang stalking and cell phone tracking. And you can also go to YouTube and type in cell phone hacking and stalking. That's right. Now, as a result of them being able to become aware that I have left this location, that is then when they will use the skanked out freak that they have decided to use for the day to come down here to slice up my tent. Now, right now, the state of California is dealing with a drought. Even the governor has announced it on many recent news programs. In fact, news radio shows. In fact, even President Obama was just recently talking about the California drought. Today's date is March 1st, 2014, so you can Google it. He was here about within the last 2 weeks. Okay, it was on the front page within this last 10 days. So why am I bringing that up? Because it's rarely raining now in California. It's only rained about maybe three times four at the very most in the last year here in San Diego County. Yesterday we had a rainstorm. Okay, it was talked about for at least 3 days before. They're calling it the Stormageddon. Okay, yesterday it poured. Now, the day before yesterday, I went and did my laundry. And usually every day, every day I was making 2 videos at this hiking location every single day up until about the first week of December of 2013. Throughout the entire year of 2013, I was making 2 videos at this location every single day. I've been here for 16 months. That's right. One of the videos was me predicting what might happen concerning me, about me, towards me, around me, or against me for that date, for each day's date. And then another video was made, the second one was made, in order for me to prove that this tent was here and to me talk about current events that were happening at this location, because I am being gang stalked here. Okay? Now, then an event happened on Thanksgiving, which I'm going to play you the audio of it, that literally will prove to you that I'm being gang stalked. In your face proof. Undisputable proof. In fact, when you see it, you'll clearly be able to see I'm being gang stalked. Now, but as a result of some of the events that have happened here on this property, okay, I decided to start preparing to move. Okay, and it's taken me quite a while. It's taken me a while to do this because of the way that I'm planning on moving. I'm setting up different hiking locations at different areas in order to play a better shell game with them, in order to prove the stalking from place to place to place to place. Even though I already have undisputably, I know what I'm doing. You know, okay, it's just it's a strategy I've developed. Now, so it's been taking me a while to prepare that I'm going to be moving from here. Okay, hold on. Excuse me. Yeah. So, basically, I'm having a cognitive reset. I'm trying to think of where I was going with this. Sorry. The burp distracted me a little bit. Dang. I hate this. I'm having a whiteout. I hate having whiteouts on videos. That means I'm having a memory blank. Alright, but anyways. Up until the beginning of December 2013, I was making 2 videos every day. And I've already mentioned why I was doing it. That's right, in order to be able to make one video proving that the property was here, and that other property is here that is hidden close by out of sight, and then also pertaining to some of the harassment that I've endured at this hiking location. That's right. But around the first and second week of December, I decided to only make about 1 or 2 videos every 8 to 10 days in order to free up time in my schedule, because each 2 videos I was making each day, sometimes each video was 45 minutes long. So when you think about the time duration of what that is, okay, that's 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. Okay, before I can even leave the area once I've gotten outside of the tent and locked it up. Now, it gets dark out here in San Diego County at 5 o'clock during the fall and winter, so that was eating up a huge amount of time in my schedule, because I like getting back to my hiking area before it gets dark, for safety and security purposes. That's right. That's right. So I decided in December, since it was taking me too long to get the hell out of here every morning, because I was making 2 videos, I decided to just make a video maybe once every 5 days, or I was like fluctuating, one every 5 days, one every 7 days, one every 10 days, and I would state in these videos that this video applies for the next 30 days. 2 days, maybe at the very most 3 days before 2 days ago, I made a video showing this video picture of my tent. Every day throughout the entire year of the 2013 and even 2012, when I was at another hiking location, I always showed the fact that this type of lock is put on my tent every day, because I would show that the tent was locked up. Okay? That's right. Now, 2 days ago, when I went to go leave to do my laundry, you wouldn't believe what was involved just in getting that together. Okay, just trust me, there's a lot involved in it. And then so I have a big gigantic duffel bag and then another carry-all, okay, just preparing all that to do it, getting dressed and getting outside of my tent, you know, taking down the security measures I take down that blocks the entrance and exit of my area, and then hiding my property, like my sleeping bags and my pajamas and stuff. So that's what I got to go through every morning just to prepare to leave. So I figured that now this happened 2 days ago, day before yesterday, and then 2 days before that I made a video stating that this is a video picture of my tent and all this other stuff, and then I said this video applies for the next 30 days, and I uploaded it on that day. It was Monday. That's right. That's right. So, 2 days ago, when I went and did my laundry, the day before yesterday, because it's the morning right now. So to me, it's only, it's not even 36 hours ago. I went to go do my laundry, left this area, got outside of my tent, and pulled the flap. It's a black weatherization sheet that gets pulled in front of the tent, okay, in front of the face of the tent. And then I set up some additional garbage bags to cover the bottom of the tent because it was getting ready. It was raining periodically on that day. The storm hadn't started yet, but it was raining. So I set all that up, and then something clicked in my head that I better take a video picture of my tent because of what they did in Connecticut. Now, gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States. That's right. And when a targeted individual moves from one state to another state, the syndicate that was in the state the target was already in, that was causing the gang stalking of the target, will notify the syndicate in the state the target's moving into to take over in the campaign towards the targeted individual. Interstate stalking is all over the internet in reference to that being a methodology of gang stalking. Google it. Just Google it and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. And if you research this crime extensively and meticulously with a mature posture, you will see hundreds of targets all over the internet stating that they're being stalked from state to state to state to state. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because they pulled the same shit in Connecticut. When I left from Michigan to go to Connecticut because I was going to try and go there to hook up with the individual that hosts the website Freedom Fighters for America. And I ended up setting up my tent in this little area, this wooded area, that had a itty-bitty creek right behind where my tent was. Now, I didn't know that this creek was connected to a river down, miles away. And it rained. And they knew it was going to rain, and they knew where I was at because I was literally being gang stalked to that area. So they knew that that creek was going to swell up. So what they did was they came down and knifed up my entire tent, the tarp, and the weatherization sheets that were on top of it. When I came home that day, it was raining all day. It took me 2.5 hours just to clean it out, to get inside of it, and then another 3 hours to tie it all up with bread ties. So I thought to myself 2 days ago, which was the day before yesterday, I already know you know that, but after I put the flap in front of my tent, I thought to myself, I better make a video since it's raining, because it rarely rains in California. Because and I had a running tape recorder going on at the time, because I was making verbal notations as I was preparing to leave inside of it. Okay, to the video, to the tape recorder. I was already making verbal statements as I was preparing to leave in the tape recorder. So then I said in the tape recorder, I better stop and take a video picture of this tent, because I remember what they did in Connecticut when they sliced it up. I then left here for the day and went all the way over into another community to do my laundry, taking 2 buses to do it and 2 buses to get back, and I get back here and it's cut up. Now, you might think to yourself, what does this got to do with post-traumatic stress? Well, attempting to cause mental deterioration is not the only thing that they attempt to do towards the targeted individual. Financial deterioration and physical deterioration. Now, the post-traumatic stress comes into play at, when are they going to do it next? Will I have to worry every single day about what they're going to do to my tent, steal it, or cut it up, or damage it in any way, shape, or form, or make it unfunctionable? Because this tent has only been up a month. It's a $40 tent. The tent that was up for 15 months, all of a sudden the zipper stopped working. I had to take it down. Now go to Google and YouTube and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and how they will enter targets' homes, houses, apartments, or motel rooms, and cars, and damage the zippers on the targeted individual's property, like luggage, backpacks, clothes, whatever. Now that was a $40 tent that I had to take down just because of that. I put this one up, they come here and do this. So, this was done in order to keep me mentally preoccupied. What are they going to do next? And this is the post-traumatic stress. Always wondering, like when a person gets assaulted, okay, and they start to recover from the assault, they are a changed person, at least for a while. They're going to wonder, when am I going to be assaulted again? Am I going to be robbed? Like if a person's robbed and assaulted, they're going to walk around more protective of themselves and their property and even their families, because they now have post-traumatic stress. It is all over the internet that intentionally, with complete malice of forethought and criminal intent, intentionally, deliberately creating post-traumatic stress is one of the main methodologies of gang stalking, because it wears the targeted individual out mentally. In other words, when a person leaves their home, they should have some reasonable sense of security about their home. Okay? That's right. That's right. That's right. That's why I put the lock on my tent. Just like a person would purchase a security system for their home or their garage. Okay? These filthy animals believe all they got to do is track me in real time, realize that I'm not at my hiking area, and then come down here and do what they do, which causes me to go through money to replace the shit they do. It causes the mental duress of what I got to do to take care of the situation. Okay? And it also creates post-traumatic stress, wondering when they're going to do it again. Let me give you a case in point about how these filthy sewer rats operate. They'll have a woman assaulted, including sexual assault, and they will, in fact, this story right now that I'm getting ready to describe to you is on the internet. Go to Google and type in how they had a girl raped and shoved a sock in her mouth as they were raping her. This story is literally on the internet. Just type in girl raped, sock shoved in her mouth, gang stalking, and you'll find it. This was an intentional thing. This is a true story, too. They had this girl raped, and then they shoved a sock in her mouth as they were raping her. Then they got along all her paths on every single day for over 90 days to 6 months, and intentionally threw socks along her path everywhere she went. When she was walking down the street, when she was riding her bike, at bus stops. They would even have, since they're connected to power positions in the community, they're also using a law enforcement tool that is being illegally and criminally used called the community notification, which allows law enforcement, when it's being legally used, to notify the community and businesses at large about a specific individual who's been put on the community notification, like if they're a sexual offender or a violent person or a person who's mentally ill and who might have violent tendencies. These community notifications were created in order to notify the community at large about specific people who have had trouble in the past with the law. But what these corrupt, syndicated, organized crime police officers are doing, okay, are putting innocent people on these notification lists, and then they're telling the business community, universities, college campuses, libraries, transportation services, anywhere and everywhere, that the target individual, see, what they do is once the target is put on these lists, when the target is tracked in real time, the perpetrator who is perpetrating these criminalities knows where the target individual is at. And there's also a computer involved in this as well. It's kind of like an intercept operator kind of thing. But anyways, basically what I'm trying to say is that as a result of the community being notified, everywhere the target individual goes, they are harassed in the same exact identical way through sensitization methods by the business community, public library staff, employees, university campuses, college campuses, high school campuses, transportation services, and everything. And we're talking about including even bus drivers. Literally. It mimics COINTELPRO. Okay? Now, as a result, what they did with this girl is that they not only raped her and shoved a sock in her mouth as they were raping her, but then the perpetrators, union members, and other solicited individuals were told to get along her route and throw socks along her routes. She'd get on a bus, and they would intentionally have people either already on the bus because they knew she was standing at the bus stop as a result of tracking her, so they would put people in cars and drop them off at bus stops prior to her bus stop, so they would already be on the bus. They would then deduce how many seats are left available, crafted seating arrangements, you can Google it, in order to put these people on the bus before she got on it. Once she got on it, she'd sit down in one of the available remaining seats, and they would intentionally talk about socks, lift up their pants in order to show their socks, okay, like I'm doing right now. They would get along her walking routes and throw socks along her path from people that were in cars, okay, going down the road, and she's on the sidewalk off the road. They would have business employees walk up to her in the businesses and say, "Did you forget these packages of socks?" Post-traumatic stress, the traumatic event of being raped, the socks being, okay, classically conditioned and double binded with the rape, mentally associated, okay, and then what they did on subsequent dates was get along her path to stimulate the episodic memory of the rape. This was not only done, the rape created the dissociated state in the post-traumatic stress, and the socks were used to associate it to the disassociation, and then throwing the socks along her path every single day was done to re-stimulate the disassociation. Torture. It's mental torture. Mind control, because they're controlling her mind where to go as a result of being reminded about the rape. Just like a Vietnam vet when he was in the Vietnam War and he was in a really bad gun battle that was life-threatening. As it was going on, gunfire and helicopters in the air. He comes back to America. Whenever there's a helicopter in the air, he's brought right back to that episodic memory. Whenever a car backfires, it sounds like a gun. He's brought right back to that memory. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's intentionally done and designed this way. That's why a lot of targeted individuals are all over the internet titling their blogs Gang Stalking Psychological Operations. Because the whole goal for them is to take everything you got, okay? Because they blacklist us from employment if you're able to work. So how are you going to keep your property once they keep the homelessness? Once they create the homelessness? Okay? That's right. They steal everything you got. Okay? They ruin everything you got. Okay? And all of it's managed and brought about as a result of the tracking of you. They isolate you from social relationships so you have nobody to turn to by using gossip, slander, fake bogus criminal investigation files. That's right. Or they'll engage in intimate infiltration, or they'll try to literally infiltrate your life through respectable environments and through casual, supposedly innocent. If they'll even try to come up to you in a grocery store and spark up a conversation with you, and then do it again on another date, and maybe then see you again on a bus to try and infiltrate your life through the friendship level. First acquaintance, then friendship. And that's done to screw you over and put you in places where many other crimes can happen to you. Now, I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I do not know any of these individuals at all, period, who are managing this expedition and who are perpetrating it. That's right. But I can identify some of the places I've been gang stalked at. You better believe it, and it's already all over the internet. Just go to YouTube and type in learning disabled woman being gang stalked in San Diego. Learning disabled woman being tortured in San Diego. All you gotta do is Google and YouTube it. And look at the identified places that I have already described in those YouTube videos and blogs. Look at them. And look at the evidence as well. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. This is literally how I have to live on a daily basis. Now, let me get to some other tidbits. Hold on. I've already before mentioned about how I was making a video every single day at this location throughout the entire year of 2013. 2 of them each day, all the way up until about December. Okay? Now, when I was making a video every single day throughout the entire year of 2013 at this location, one of the videos was predicting what could happen along my path for the day, and then the other video was talking about showing this video picture of my tent and stating how I had property hidden close by. It was also statements were also made about the homeless bums they set up that harassed me. They set up some homeless bums about 100 feet away, who harassed me for 98% of the time that I've been here. Okay, for 16 months. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay? Now, I also made statements every single day in those videos, every single day, that they were putting individuals up on the sidewalk to say two different things. Gang stalker, why don't you come and steal our stuff? That was done to anchor fear, to create post-traumatic stress. Okay? And then gang stalker, why don't you call the cops on her? So let's look at this. I was making a video every single day throughout the entire year 2013 stating that they were putting people up on the sidewalk to say either gang stalk as they rode their bikes by, jogged by, or walked by. Okay, to get them to say either gang stalk or gang stalker, why don't you come and steal her stuff? Or gang stalk or gang stalker, why don't you call the cops on her? So what are they doing? They're associating the threats to gang stalking by saying gang stalk, why don't you call the cops on her? Gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff? Every single day, practically every single day throughout the entire year of 2013, I was making a video stating that they were doing that at this location. What I'm about ready to have you listen to right now. This is a copy of a segment of an event that took place on a sidewalk on Thanksgiving Day 2013, November 28th, 2013, which is right at the tail end of the year, which was actually 3 months ago yesterday. Do you hear these guys say gang stalk together? Then one says gang stalking, and then that same one says gang stalking. I'm going to F you up. That's a threat. You be the judge. Think about this. Unless I'm psychic, think about this. How many days are in the year? 365? It's either 365 or 356. Let's just say 365. Okay, November 28th is a month and a few days before a full year. Throughout the entire year of 2013, I was making a video every day stating what they were doing up on this sidewalk. Okay, about 125 feet away. Okay, off a hill. I was stating that they were putting people up on the sidewalk. Just say, gang stalk, why don't you come and steal our stuff? Or gang stalk, why don't you call a cop center? I also made notations, and numerous ones, that they had two separate UCSD students walk by me in the Price Center, which is a building on UCSD campus, on two separate dates and say, gang stalker, why don't you go and steal our stuff? Right now in my possession, literally, I have over 800 audio files of individuals getting around me on a daily basis saying gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk. Hold on. Gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, gang stalk, gang stalk. Oh my god, gang stalk, gang stalk. Oh my god, we're crazy. Gang stalk, in that way. Every single day for 2 full, complete years, everywhere I have went. I got the audio files to prove it. Now, throughout the entire year of 2012, and part of the year of 2013, I published videos online stating that individuals are getting around me on a daily basis saying these things. Okay? Especially in the year 2012. You're about ready to hear the audio of a video of me being on a Yucca Valley bus in Yucca Valley, California, which is 169 miles away from San Diego. Now, I arrived in San Diego on August 8, 2011. Today's date is March 1st, 2014. I have been in San Diego County every single day from that time period to this date, okay, except for 1 week when I went out to Yucca Valley. Again, Yucca Valley is 169 miles away from La Jolla, which is in San Diego County. Now, I made videos throughout the entire year of 2012 and a huge amount of videos in 2013 that they were getting along all my routes and saying gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalker, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, we're crazy, oh my god, in that way. Then I went out to Yucca Valley and caught the same exact identical, what I just forementioned was caught every day for 2 years in San Diego County. Then I went out to Yucca Valley for 1 week, and the same exact identical verbal harassment was caught on multiple audio files and video files when I was out there, which means that I was stalked from this location where I left from to go there to Yucca Valley. And you're about ready to hear it. This is me being on a Yucca Valley bus route Landers, on December 11, 2012. You're going to hear men say gang stalk. Another man says gang stalker, they repeat it, while other individuals are saying, oh my god, right before it and after it, and then you're going to hear a woman say gang stalking. This is their way to let me know I'm being stalked by repeating certain words, phrases, and physical gestures along my routes for me to either see or hear, which I stated at the beginning of this YouTube video, just like they were putting and throwing the socks along that girl's route after they raped her. Just listen.
Well, look at that car right there. It's so cute. To the left, it just turned. No. Those little French cars. No. Jeez.
You first child?
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully my
got my good one.
only child.
I'll take the whole thing.
She never cried.
I'm going to go hang it up in my,
She's already talking.
I'm going to take my American flag out, little kind of flag. Take it out, I'm going to hang it in the window, and I'm going to put it on the I wish I did it today. Oh, yeah. When they look at Rich, oh, yeah, that might work. No, it's American flag.
You know, I'm going to be really mad if you stopped right here because we could have...
Yeah, we are. They say in 15 years we'll be putting RFID chips in all new boards.
We could have not walked all the way to Walmart from the Social Security
It's
office.
a radio frequency. There's so many buses that go.
It's a radio frequency identification implant. You ain't never heard of that? Google it. Yeah. You got kids, you should.
That's beautiful.
Alright, I'm going to wrap this video up. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth concerning the factual realities of how I have to live because of this organized stalking, gang stalking expedition. And then all you have to do is ask yourself, why won't the San Diego police make a police report? Even after I've requested it anywhere between, I'd say, 16 to 21 separate occasions by multiple police officers have denied my right to make a police report. This Thanksgiving event occurred 8 days after I told a UCSD campus police officer that they get along my routes every single time I'm on UCSD campus and repeating these words, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalk, and what I've already aforementioned. Okay? And it occurred 43 days after I had to call the San Diego police because I was experiencing the same technique at a Jack in the Box off Rosecrans and Nimitz Boulevard. He denied my right to make a police report on that day and threatened me with a psychologist. That's right, because calling targeted individuals mentally ill or delusional is a method of gang stalking. What you just heard on this video, on this phone, pertaining to the Thanksgiving event and the Yucca Valley event, was caught happening around me inside the San Diego Police Department headquarters and inside the San Diego City Council meeting chambers on August 24, 2013, and inside the San Diego Police Department headquarters on July 24, 2013. And you can go to YouTube and Google and type in Learning Disabled Woman Gang Stalked to Jack in a Box. And when you look at all the videos online concerning learning disabled woman exposes evidence of gang stalking, make sure that you listen for gang stalk being said constantly in the background and the other aforementioned words that I described, and also make sure that you click on the About feature in these YouTube videos for other YouTube titles that show the same technique happening towards me everywhere I go. And I told the San Diego police officer this, that I got 800 audio files of it being said everywhere I go, including at the Jack in the Box, and I told him I also had videos of it happening in the Jack in the Box. And he still threatened me with a psychologist. Now go to Google right now and type in organized stalking or gang stalking in police, organized stalking or gang stalking in corrupt mental health, psychiatrist. Now, at the end of the day, this is about human trafficking, racketeering, insurance fraud, land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, trust fund liquidation, identity theft, you name it. In fact, just go to Google right now and type in gang stalking space human trafficking and pay close attention to the YouTube channel Protect Your Life Now. Oh yeah. That's why the homelessness is created, to exploit it. And then they turn around and claim the target can't take care of themselves because they're homeless and won't get an apartment. Even though gang stalking targets are stalked in multiple different apartments, motel rooms, this is the fourth hiking area I've been gang stalked to. I'm gang stalked along all my routes, including at businesses, banks, post offices, restaurants, movie theaters, transportation services. Do you honestly think they won't gang stalk me to an apartment building and then eventually create the homelessness again? Of course they will. They break into targeted individuals' apartments even while they're sleeping. Google it, and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth, so you can see the truth for what it is. That's right. That's right. I gotta do some shopping today, and today it's supposed to rain as well. We're gonna see if I come back to this location today. Hang on a second. And if this tent is damaged or stolen in any way. Okay. Now I'm zipping it up right now. Okay, so you can see right now that this tent is still erected, and that's the only damage that's done to it as of right now. And that includes breaking the tent poles that keep the tent erected. That's right, they pulled that shit towards me in Connecticut and in Michigan. That's right. That's right. Now, can you imagine coming home to a tent that you gotta fix while it's pouring raining? These are the methodologies of gang stalking. It's done to break you down. It's done to make you feel hopeless, powerless, and helpless and defeated over your situation. All of it they created. They're not coming down here and wrecking my tents for no reason. So, I want you to see what they're doing to me. So then you can say to yourself, you pay your taxes to the San Diego police to pay their salaries, their pensions, their insurance, their grocery bills, their cell phone bills, their gas bills, their vacations, and their retirement. So this can happen to an innocent woman. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever. I'm not a threat to myself or others, and I'm not mentally ill, and if I didn't know how to take care of myself, I'd either already be dead or exploited. That's right. That's right. And we're going to see if there's any problems with my bank account balance on Monday, which will be the 3rd I get paid. I'm being gang stalked in my bank like you would not believe. And we're going to see how soon they look for a reason to say I can't have a bank account there. Because they're already starting to harass me about proof of residency, even though I've been using this bank since 2009. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. This shit is being managed at the federal, state, and local level. Google it, and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. I'm in San Diego, California. I made this video in order to inform, to expose the truth. To expose to you, so you can see how I have to live on a daily basis, so you can see through my experience what they're doing to my fellow targeted individuals as well. Including the fellow targeted individuals who don't have the money to buy a camera, batteries for it, or a tape recorder. Go to YouTube right now and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids. You'll see a targeted individual of gang stalking being covered on the news. That's right. This is the audio of that news broadcast.
This story on our website, kcba.com. Houston police call it bullying on steroids. We're talking about gang stalking, but it actually has nothing to do with the gangs that you first think of. Southern Coast News reporter Candace Lynn learned more about the trend and how it's getting more dangerous because of the internet. It makes me so afraid.
Lawrence Cazino claims his neighbors are gang stalking him because he plays loud music late at night and is outspoken. He said for the last year and a half he's been systematically followed by a group of people. At one point he said they climbed on his roof to harass him. Cazino said he's developed a paranoia that's devastated his relationships with friends and, worst of all, family.
That's the worst part of it. If it was me, I would take action.
Santa Cruz Police Lieutenant Larry Richards said police are becoming more aware of gang stalking because of cyberbullying. But what is gang stalking? Basically, the victims could be driving their car or talking on their phones or walking the streets when a group of people try to systematically terrorize them. Richards said gang stalking is nothing new, but new technology is making it more common.
Gang stalking itself, they have elevated themselves to technology. So this is something that's been going on before the age of Facebook, Twitter, those other social websites. They just now have gone into those areas.
Cazino said he's proof that the problem isn't just online and that it can hit too close to home, a home he plans on leaving because of gang stalking.
I want to be able to go to the tennis courts and play tennis or play ping pong without people following us everywhere. It's just nerve-wracking.
I'm Candace Wen in Salinas, your Central Coast News.
If found guilty of gang stalking, the person may face criminal, conspiracy, and stalking charges, all of which are felony charges in California.
Okay, so when we look at the factual realities of these criminal expeditions, and it's not stalking by gangs, it's basically nothing but community-based harassment, okay, that is brought about as a result of the law enforcement tools being illegally and criminally used in order to motivate the community at large, union members, community policing organizations, neighborhood watch groups, okay, churches, fraternities, sororities. All of these people are notified and used on different people on a daily basis as a result of them being lied to about the targeted individual. That's right. That's right. And they do this to stalk you, to gang up on you. That's why it's called gang stalking. So don't confuse it with being stalking by gangs, which is basically what the news reporter said at the very beginning of this audio of this news broadcast. He says it's not the gangs that you first think of. That's right. That's right. Now, the news reporter also said about how the victim can be driving their car, talking on their cell phone, or walking down the street when a group of people try to systematically terrorize them.
He's right here. Shut up. There's something a little wrong. Wait on it. Wrong? Hey, security wrong. Wrong, man. There's something a little criminal.
500 audio files are not delusional. That's right. Can you imagine suffering through this crime, and then a police officer who's supposed to be investigating them threatens you to put you in a county mental health as a result of you telling the truth about being victimized? This is where the filthy whores come into play for insurance fraud. That's right. They petition you to county mental health or an area neighborhood hospital. The doctors bilk the Medicare and the other insurance. That's right. That's right. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I've even been gang stalked by the San Diego Homeless Rescue Mission employees and the connected police that came with them when an event was staged to make it appear they had a normal appearing reason to know where I was hiking at in 2012 before I moved here. They gaslighted me right to my face, which is a term that describes gang stalking harassment. And they'll even take this statement I'm making right now and say, now Leslie thinks the Homeless Rescue Mission, who does so much for the community, is gang stalking her. Really? Go to Google right now and type in homeless shelters and gang stalking, social services and gang stalking, social security and gang stalking. Do it. It's organized crime in a system that has a far reach into the community in reference to how it's using its employment descriptions to aid and abet in these expeditions, using clever techniques, lies, secrecy, slander, character assassination, character defamation, bogus criminal fake bogus criminal investigation files. Go to YouTube and type and listen to a stranger. I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. Well, we're gonna see if they fuck around with any of. They can be doing this to bait me to call the police, so the police can come out and say, "Well, we can't prove who did it, and you can't camp here." These are the filthiness sewer rats that these filthy animals engage in. I gotta live this way every day, wondering when I leave here, what's gonna happen when I come back? Is my property gonna be gone? The property got hidden close by. Is the tent gonna be damaged or stolen? It's baiting me to call the police because they believe that if we keep doing this to her over and over and over again, she's going to get fed up, call the police. I call the police. They come out and they say, what's going on? I say, this happened because of gang stalking. They act like they don't know what it is. They then write out an incident report. Suspect seems delusional, won't take any help we're offering her. Yeah, to go to the San Diego Homeless Rescue Mission so I can be gang stalked there, to motivate me to move, so they can then stumble across my path on a later date and say, didn't we offer you services and you left? You must really be crazy. And this is done for the syndicated probate control, so they can legally co-opt the target's finances, put the target individual in a group home that is criminally owned by organized crime members, and so the campaign can continue in an isolated environment, just like a rapist will take a rape victim to an isolated environment. For the continued gang stalking, insurance fraud, probate, finance co-opting, and human trafficking, including voyeurism, in these homes. It's why the homelessness is created to begin with, and these are the schemes used for it. I do appreciate listening, and have a nice day.